for Akaba. I'm outside, guys, Cecilia. This is the house of Dr. Du Bois. Dr. Du Bois lived in this house for only 3 years. Dr. Du Bois died in this house and is also buried in the compound of this house. Dr. Du Bois was invited in 1961 by the first president of Ghana, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, to edit a document called the Encyclopedia Africana Dictionary of African Biography. It was a document to tell the history of Africans, who they are, what they have, and what they can use their resources for, and also come together, fight for their rights, their freedom, and their country. We ask, who is Dr. Du Bois? Dr. Du Bois was a Pan-African leader. He was a communist, a civil rights activist, a man who was fighting for black freedom, fighting for equality for all. And the main motive for Pan-Africanism was that a descendant of Africa will have a common goal. And that common goal was for Africans to unite, fight for their rights, their freedom, and their country. So the main motive Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was using for Encyclopedia Africana was the same as the Pan-African motive. So this motive made Dr. Du Bois, as a Pan-African leader, find is very interested and traveled to Ghana in his old age, at the age of 93. And he spent only 2 years in this house. He died in this house on 27th August, 1963. And that day was the day before the March on Washington. So with that, we refer Dr. Du Bois to be like Moses. Why Moses? Because Moses traveled the Israelites. By the time they will enter the promised land, God said to Moses, your eyes will see Canaan, your legs will not repair. With Dr. Du Bois also fighting for black freedom, fighting for equality for all, they didn't see that freedom day and they didn't enjoy that freedom day. But now, we are on the promised land, having life for ourselves. That's why Du Bois' life is referred to Moses. When this great man came to Ghana in 1961, he didn't come alone. Dr. Du Bois came in with a wife, the second wife, Mrs. Shirley Du Bois. Shirley was a playwright, she was a composer, activist, and she became the director to GBC, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. So after the death of Dr. Du Bois and his burial, Shirley was still living in this country, in this house. So in 1966, when Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown by the military government, everyone was fighting for power at that time. So Nkrumah was overthrown. And with that, made Shirley life in this country really difficult to live, because GBC was the voice of the president. And so she left the country to Germany, France, Tanzania, back to Ghana in 1972. From Ghana was to Egypt, from Egypt was to China. Why China? Because Du Bois was a communist, and the Chinese also believe in communism. So they're like more of a family. And that made Shirley visit them. But she went there because she was suffering from breast cancer. And so the treatment that she needed made her travel to China. But after her treatment, she lived in China.